Alright, so last video I did my favorite albums of the year so far. Now it's time for my favorite movies of the year so far. Just like the albums list, this list is in no particular order either, even though if you've seen my past videos, you probably know where I have a certain movie on this list. And yeah, let's go. Robert Eggers never fails to impress. The way this movie is shot in general, aesthetically, is so beautiful. This movie does a great job showcasing the brutality of the Viking lifestyle. The entire time you're watching this movie, especially when it was in theaters, you feel like you're in the center of the action. You feel like you're a part of the testosterone pump journey Amleth is going on to avenge his family. Also, the Bjork cameo was really cool. Overall, a really good movie. I've only made a few videos on this channel so far, but if you've seen them, you probably already know how much of a fan of A24 I am. For a while before its release, I couldn't wait to see X, and for me, it did not disappoint at all. I can't recall the last time I had as much fun watching a new horror movie as I did watching X. The entire cast played their roles perfectly in making this a great, enjoyable slasher film. The callbacks to the Satanic Panic and older classic horror films were super clever. X doesn't give everything it has to offer away immediately. It's a slow burn, and it makes the kills much more hard-hitting. The kills aren't predictable or basic, they shock you on arrival. The character building done in the time before things go south gives you reason to care about the characters. For modern horror, X definitely delivers. Animated films these days can really be hit or miss. I'm glad to announce though, this one was without a doubt a hit. I really love the animation style in this movie. The humor genuinely goes over well and it isn't forced or anything like that. I think my favorite part of this film is how relatable it is. No matter who you are, you can probably relate on some level to at least one thing May goes through. We all can relate to the struggle of being self-conscious or embarrassed about ourselves during puberty. Most of us can relate to trying to hide things from our friends and our family because we're afraid of how they might react. Most of us can relate to the feeling of being unwanted. Turning Red hits all of these notes brilliantly. I genuinely started getting emotional when May was upset about her appearance to the point where she started sobbing. For a lot of us, we see our current or past selves in May in one way or another. This movie might end the year as my favorite animated film. What a film this is. I could talk about it for ages. The cinematography is flawless. The soundtrack will go down as classic. The takes on Batman and the Riddler as characters are fresh and new. Robert Pattinson's Batman is my favorite Batman and it's not close. To me, it's the most realistic. In past portrayals of Batman / Bruce Wayne, he's seen as a happy ladies man. But in this film, he doesn't say much. He's much more low-key. And I think that's a much more accurate depiction of who Bruce Wayne is. Considering he's someone who lost his parents at a very young age and that he doesn't have many people to turn to in times of need, this take on his character is much more realistic. I know he's rich, but other than that, what reason does Bruce have to be super happy all the time? What reason does Bruce have to be super outgoing? He doesn't have many. It makes much more sense that Bruce is more kept to himself. At almost 3 hours, the Batman doesn't have a dull moment. The pacing is great. I really hope the longer length this film sits at creates a new blueprint for superhero movies in the future. Not everything needs to be so formulaic and basic. You can get creative with these blockbuster films. Another thing that made me so obsessed with this movie is the portrayal of Gotham. There's no sugarcoating it. Matt Reeves depicts Gotham as a brutal, dark, crime-ridden, always rainy hellhole. I've seen the Batman like 5 times at this point, and at first, I still would have put Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight ahead of it. But at this point, I feel like there's a stronger argument to be made for the Batman being the best Batman movie, and the best DC movie period. I could keep going, but I'm gonna make an end of the year movies list, so for now, that's where I'll stop. I've already made a whole video on this film already, So I'll just sum up my thoughts here. If you want to hear me go more in depth, then you can go watch that video. It should be in the top right now. Yeah, this is my favorite movie ever. I know I said this list isn't in any particular order, but right now it's at number 1, and by the end of the year it'll still be number 1 unless another movie that eclipses that comes out, which I really doubt it. Nothing has shook me to my core on an emotional level as much as Everything Everywhere All at Once did. I literally don't have one single complaint or gripe with this movie. I've watched it multiple times and I can't come up with one. I've never consumed a piece of media as flawless as Everything Everywhere All at Once is. So yeah, that about wraps things up. Like I said, if you want to hear me go in depth about Everything Everywhere All at Once, you can probably rewind a couple seconds. It's going to be in the top right corner. And for now, that's all I got. I should have a video on Lost in Translation coming out next, maybe. Or maybe it'll be about the new Ken Carson album, one of those two. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you soon.
All of my own, doing shit solo. You can't come my way.